Jack love at last, I'm at peace with this vast blood. Only took a crash, landing down in the trash mud to figure out why I've been so smashed up. Holy moly, lonely only when I'm coldly zoning, cozy in my holy home without my homie ceremonies, owning in my own, rolling through my dome.
Good morning, everybody. Pedro and I just getting the show started here. I'm enjoying the intro music of Tree City West, all gassed up. Watch it die, just like this volume. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking from the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this show today, coming to you from Central Pennsylvania. That's right. I have no idea what town it is. We're Central Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful day here. It is totally unlike anything that's going on in the crypto markets right now, and digital assets and political markets, right? Because it is August 18th, 2025. So much important news this week that it's got to move the markets. Today in Washington, D.C., the heads of all the NATO countries are meeting Donald Trump in Washington, D.C. This has never happened before. It's a historic event. Also this week, we have the big financial gathering in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's a big deal in which all the analysts around the world try to pick apart every little financial speech that's given, especially the one at the end of the week by Jerome Powell, for a little advance notice on what's going on in the market. In past years, the Fed has signaled that they would be easing markets. This year, they have held their cards close and not given any info out about what they're going to do. So everyone will be paying attention. That will be bringing coverage of that to you at the end of the week. This week, Pedro, I know I almost forgot to introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, man in the box next to me, Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. Pedro, what's happening today?
Hey, what's up, man? How you guys doing? It's been a fun day today. Been kind of looking at the markets and seeing how things are moving and see what's populating in the world. Bitcoin, it's been interesting, really interesting. Saw the sell-off come in from, I thought we were going to hit all-time highs and then see the sell-off, but they didn't. They took it right down for ETH. So real interesting to see how ETH's coming down, but coming down to the weekly 8, potentially, which I thought they would tap it up first and then bring it down, but they didn't. So that's actually kind of a good sign. It's actually a bullish sign to me that they're actually going through and they're bringing it down first, and then they're going to push it up. They're going to put that strong leg in. It's more interesting to see what happened this weekend with Ethereum.
How's Bitcoin starting the week off here?
So Bitcoin has actually seen a bit of a sell-off here over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I think you got it behind us. There we go.
And then this morning, you can see here that we actually came down, tapped these lower levels here that we had been talking about. Saw it come back, tap this area, and continue up. I thought we were going to push it. I thought we were going to, because we saw the increase in volume coming in. So from this moment on, I said, okay, I think they're going to push it up. But they did not. They went through, took the liquidity from the all-time high and sold it off. And now they're kind of coming back down here to these lower levels. And I mean, they definitely hit our liquidity area. The 50 period is moving average. We talked about if it was going to come down, this would be the area that I'd expected to see some good movement. So really interesting to sit there and see that on Thursday, we saw it sell off. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we saw it kind of in between this moving averages. But the thing I always say to people is, look, they didn't put much of a wick in for this week. So they're coming back down, getting liquidity. Potentially, I'd expect to see Bitcoin by the end of the week be up at least towards all-time highs again. So that's kind of like what I'm expecting to see with Bitcoin. But overall, it's, I mean, still in good shape. I mean, you know, it went from 23,000 down to 16,000. I mean, that's just a blip for Bitcoin. Right?
No, it's still, people forget that. That's still very, very, very little in the massive Bitcoin pricing scheme going on. People are, what do you got, the daily chart up there? So in the past couple of days, you know, like for the past number of weeks, we've been trading kind of in a zone. We had that sell off about 2 weeks ago, 12 days ago, whatever. But it clawed right back up, went up to the all-time high, or even formed one, and pulled back after that. These are all things that if you were never even going to look at the chart and say what's going to happen, you're like, well, it's going to consolidate. It'll drop off a little bit. It'll go back up. And then, there's not a lot going on. First of all, it's summer. It's August right now. All of Europe is on vacation. Half of Canada is on vacation. Parts of the United States but kids are going back to school a little early this year. And a lot of the people that I hung out with this weekend all had jobs in Wall Street and banks and all that type of stuff. And they aren't doing squat. But we had some good conversations about the economy and stuff, and everyone's concerned about the jobs reports and unemployment and the lack of people getting jobs in their fields that they feel that they're qualified for. That an important point that they feel that they're qualified for, not the roles that they're actually qualified for. Everyone thinks they can get a better job than they can, which is good, but they're one of the things that came up is that everyone said that their firm has got lots of job openings on the list, but actually not as many. Their HR thing lists, if they list 100 jobs, they have 5 available. And it's a big problem. They're doing, and a lot of these firms try to resume shop from competitors and things like that, so they use it as intelligence gathering as part of their. One guy just said, look, he said, if we see a whole bunch of resumes coming in from certain sectors, we know that sector is going to suck soon. And so we short it. So that's not go great. But anyway, back to BTC. We've been hanging in there. It's the summer doldrums. Not a lot going on to really move it, to get it going back up to that, that marks we want to see at the 130, 140, 150,000, or back down to 80,000, whichever way the charts tell us it's going to go. But nonetheless, August will be over soon, and we'll be going gangbusters this fall, hopefully. Hopefully up. Actually, hopefully just some volatility, so we can get some good trading in with some good solid moves every week. That's what I hope. But ladies and gentlemen, for everyone out there, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Drop some comments. I got to make sure my comment machine is working here. So maybe I'll drop my own comment here. I don't know if people can hear it. Sorry for the noise. There's an airplane taking off right next to me here. Welcome, everyone. Oops. Welcome, everyone. 33. Okay, everyone 33. Let's see which one it brings up here. The old graphics. Anyway, Pedro, let's see. Let me see if I can figure out how many people are out there on Rumble. Thanks for joining us, everybody, for another great day on Rumble. Small crowd today. We got a couple of people on YouTube, a couple of people on Rumble. Thanks to everyone joining us. Please take some time to like and share this. Sharing it's one of the most important things. That the more people that are allowed to watch it, the more ads we get to read, and the more it pushes the algorithm. So hit that like button, hit that repost button. That's turning out to be a good engagement feature as well. Repost it into your Rumble feed. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also do similar things, and we would appreciate it. Pedro, this gathering this week in Jackson Hole is a big deal. Pretty much all of the different financial podcasts I listen to from the national news media, everybody wants to be there, but not everybody can be there because, first of all, it's a small place. It's expensive for the news groups to send their people out there, but a lot of good stuff comes from it. A lot of good intelligence on the market. What we get, I was listening to one of the analysts on Bloomberg talk about how the week after they kind of sit down and put together their notes from all the different conversations they had, and they get a good idea of what's going on in the market because everyone's there having drinks and sharing information that they otherwise wouldn't be sharing, either from government to reporters to reporters, business to government, when there's always reporters inserted in that as well. And then the week after it, you really see some ideas about what the market's going on. So hopefully we'll be seeing that. Here's some good news come out of it this week. We'll get some direction maybe on the rates going on, whether they're going to cut or not, and then and see what happens. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to have to get going and broadcast from the car again here, like we have been last week. So looking around for Mrs. Striking right now. She's out for a walk. So. But anyway, what do you have on your plate here for us today?
What's up?
I said, what do you have on your plate for us today here?
Quite a few things. So I want to bring over a couple market moves here. One being BNB. BNB, I was looking at it. I kind of expect some stuff to start to populate on BNB. So I want to see it pull back down to this 50 period 750 area. Literally, because if we can see this pull back here, this is be a good little area for it. I mean, when I'm looking at, like, here's Bitcoin, we see the sell-off. Ethereum, we're seeing a bit of a sell-off. Here we go, give me a second. XRP, we're seeing a sell-off. But yet BNB is holding. I mean, it's holding hard at this level. I mean, it's still literally one, it's not even, I mean, it didn't even, this is still at all-time highs. Where these levels have come back a little, BNB is still holding strong. So that I've been definitely sitting there going like, okay, this thing's it's gonna pump. I think we might have a flash crash come down to this area and push back up. Ooh. But it already hit our area here that we had drawn, which was a weekly zone. So like sitting here watching BNB at these levels here is one of those ones I'm like, what meme coin, what thing here that is going to really push this, because somebody's buying this, and whether it's the foundation itself, and are they going to pump a coin to get more volume to really get it sending again? I'm looking at it going like, dude, this is prime for something to pump on. I mean, it's something like, it just doesn't make sense here. So for me, it's one of those ones that I'm definitely trying to say, all right, what?
Pedro, in the past couple of days, you've participated in a couple other communities pretty heavily. Have you heard them talking about projects that are on BNB and the BNB chain being used?
Nope, nothing.
Yeah, this is what flummoxes me, is that the price is going up like crazy. People are buying it. It's at all-time highs, but it's not because of, the FOMO factor of everyone putting money into the chain at the retail level. These communities obviously are the ultimate degen retail level. So does that mean that maybe institutions are starting to say, hey, this is something we should hold?
I could sit there and see that, but the problem with that is that if it was, I'd expect to see them to buy in at lower levels, not at the all-time highs.
Right.
So that's where I'm like, I don't know. I mean, is it the foundation that's buying it? I mean, like I said, they literally have $70+ billion sitting in cash or equivalent, and it's probably more than that, because it's been, that was 3.5 years ago, and they're not idiots. They know how to put it into yield-bearing systems that are safe in crypto. I mean, just
right.
Literally,
Whoa.
Go ahead.
Whoa. Sorry, a giant wasp just showed up.
Hello, Mr. Giant Wasp.
Ooh.
For you today.
Whoa. Anyway, sorry about that.
It's okay. I understand. If you guys could do us a quick favor, if you guys are watching us, we have about 6 people watching us. We appreciate you over on Rumble. If you guys could do us a favor and hit that like and share button, that helps us out a lot. And if you could, that share button, by reposting and just clicking on the link, it does help us out quite a bit, and kind of gets things up and running. But yeah, I don't know why it's so dead right now. This always happens to us when we skip a day, dude. I knew we shouldn't.
Well, we skipped Saturday and Sunday too.
Yeah, but it's not. Look, we normally, this is every time, man. Every time. It's amazing. You can't skip days. Look, I mean, it's evident. Look. I said we were going to test it, and we tested it, and we only have 6. Which I appreciate you 6 that are watching us, but I know one is 1, 2, 3. Half of them it probably is me. So,
well, everybody, all we can do is ask you to share it out there and help us with our Monday doldrums here.
Yeah. Anyways, so let's check this out. Let's go into just details here, and we can start going in. So, news-wise, let's check out the economic calendar here. And 1 second. Come on. We're going to go over economic calendar. We're going to go over some news kind of happened over the weekend. Just kind of like topical news that were kind of out there. And it's doing what it wants to do. There you are, buddy. Sweet. Alrighty. So when we look at... Why is he doing that? All right. For Wednesday, crude oil, we have FOMC meeting minutes, which isn't really much. It's going to do much here. On Wednesday, for Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, and then from there, we have the manufacturing index coming out with PMI. That's going to happen around 6:45 West Coast time, and then the next one is going to be existing home at 7. After that, on Friday, looks like it's going to be the Fed Chair Powell speaks, talking about interest rates and see what's going to happen there. So, as you can see, it's going to be quite a eventful week towards more the middle, if not at the end of the week. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. As you were saying, talking about what we expect to see with a lot of NATO coming in, talking with Trump, trying to work things out there. This could be an explosive week, along with the whole entire federal entities coming, or not federal, but economic federal entities coming in, talking about what's going to happen in the economy. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens here. Ultimately, the markets themselves are just chilling. I mean, if you look at traditional TradFi, you can just look at it. It's painful today. I was looking at it a lot. I mean, hardly any volume in the first 5-minute candle. I mean, it was just dead. I mean, I was actually shocked. I was like, are you serious? Let's see right here. Volume. It was 20,000. Yeah, it was 20,000. That's this right here. You can see 20,000 contracts, which is nothing. It normally sits around 35 to 40,000 contracts. So the fact that we literally have half contracts, which is a huge indicator that today was going to be a sideways day. So I was kind of waiting to see if it was going to break out of it. I almost went long right here, but I was like, there's no real demand wick here. It'd be kind of just me trying to make something happen. But you can see we're just in this sideways today button move today, and it just kind of sucks on the market. The move happened last night during the London Open. They got, how many points is that? 78. All the way down to 78.
There you go.
479.
I get to read an ad, so about 2 minutes.
So about 30 points, 25 points, which still is kind of weak for the movement of the market. But ultimately, you can see here that it's just kind of went sideways today, which is kind of what I expected. I was kind of hopping around to a bunch of places. Was in Zach Humphrey's Breakfast Club, or I guess I was in the Breakfast Club group there. It was fun. I also went into DEF CON 7 and what they were doing. So,
is that DEFCON 7? Is that Ghost and Crew?
Yeah, it's Ghost and Crew. Yep. Went in there. Crypto Unicorns, what's up? Connect me. Good to have you guys. But it was just like one of those things that, like, watching everybody just kind of play and just see what's happening here. So every time we see this, typically it means that, like, the week's gonna be, it should be a crazy week. That's honestly what I expect. But,
Well, Pedro, I've got to take a second here to pay the bills here.
alrighty.
And we've been broadcasting on Rumble here for the past couple of weeks, and Rumble's been very good to us. We're part of the Creator Program. We have an official partnership with Rumble as premium creators. And as you've probably noticed, Rumble is growing fast, and it's not slowing down, ladies and gentlemen. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. And now there's Rumble Premium, an easy way to upgrade your experience. With Premium, you get ad-free viewing across the system, no pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Plus, Premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scene drops, and more from your favorite creators like Pedro and I. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Just go to rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. No ads, more freedom, and content you actually care about. That's the deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, right next to me here, you see this QR code. If you're watching on your smart TV, pick up your telephone, your phone, hold it, snap that thing, visit the URL, let our advertisers know that our audience is interested in their product. If you're really interested, please subscribe. It helps us out greatly, of course, when we get subscribers from these ads.
Yeah.
And also in the comment section, there's a learn more link. You can go and click that on your phone, if you're watching this on your phone or on your desktop. And of course, if you're watching this on the replay, down in the body of this, there'll be a link to the same thing at rumble.com/premium and use the code words. Thank you to Rumble for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
Definitely. It's really one thing I love about Rumble is just the fact that you really can, within reason, but you don't have to sit there and worry about being pushed off the algorithm by just random things that may not fit the narrative of the society. And I really like that, just the fact. So
Right.
Thank you so much to Rumble for having an open place where people can actually have real discourse and communicate and talk about what's actually they think is important to talk about and not get penalized by it. So I wanted to shout out, say thank you for that. The other thing I want to bring up is we can actually talk.
All right, Pedro, I'm going to switch cameras here. I'll be back with you in about 5 minutes.
All right, perfect. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead real quick and just talk about over the weekend what we actually saw. Here we go. August, boom. So Meta Planet buys basically another 775 Bitcoin worth 90 million. They now hold 18,888 Bitcoin worth 2.2 billion. Watcher Guru says that 100 worth of crypto longs. We'll talk about. Just in Thailand launches program allowing tourists to convert crypto into local currency, which I thought was really cool. Michael Saylor strategy buys again more Bitcoin, 430 Bitcoin worth 49.47 million. President Trump administration in talks to take 10% ownership stake in Intel, which I thought was really interesting. Literally because Intel hasn't really produced anything really strategic. Like, not that they're not creating something amazing, but just it's not like they're doing amazing when it comes to AI. So, but they are a juggernaut worth business within America. So America's business. So I thought that was really interesting, noteworthy to be paying attention to. as well as Treasury Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary, says crypto stablecoins will expand dollar access to billions across the globe. And so we've talked about a lot of these things here already about what's actually happening within crypto and the things that we're going to probably foresee. The other part, which I thought was really interesting, is a lot of BRICS countries are now really trying to push crypto as well. And as it's moving here, it's kind of been really interesting to sit there and see that, you know, basically Trump is really trying to lead the way here. So I just thought it was really interesting. Also, he's supposed to meet with, you know, Zelensky and Putin here. It seems like it's almost an impossible thing that's going to be happening here between Ukraine, but, you know, hopefully it goes well there and we can stop the senseless killing between the two. So yeah, it was also the other thing I thought was really interesting, that Vice President Mike Pence calls on President Trump to sanction Russia. Putin's not going to stop until he stopped. And I just thought that was really interesting. So watching like within that, like the Republican Party, what's actually happening there, I thought was one of those things that I was like, huh, that's really weird. Also, Trump says thank you to Belarus. Why is that so hard for me to say? Basically, just saying thank you to him, and what a powerful leader for releasing the political prisoners. So shout out to him for that. And there was the other one right here. All right, so I thought this was funny. There's I don't know if it's AI or if it's actually real, but there is a video of the President Putin driving North Korea Kim Jong-un around in Russia. So I thought that was really unique. I don't know if that's really real or if are they playing? Is it AI and they just released it to prove something? But I just thought that was really interesting there. So that's about it, what's kind of going on there. And then on a financial, like major financial news, give me 1 second. I want to make sure I pull up these things here. There it is. Boom. India discovers 10 to 20 metric tons of gold. And forgive me if I don't say this correct. Odisha. So I thought that was really interesting. Like that's going to bring in a lot of kind of gold and see what's going to happen. So President Trump says tomorrow will be a big day at the White House. Never had so many European leaders at one time. The other part here was Chinese scientists are developing world's first pregnancy robot that could give birth to human citizens. I thought that, because we're always talking about AI and what's actually happening there. So I thought that was really interesting from a tech standpoint of what's actually, how it's progressing. And if China is able to do that over the next 6 months to a year, and it's actually functional and done good, it's going to be really interesting to see what actually is that correlates out of that. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. Chinese experts are likely to accept lower prices at U.S. imports, negotiating over who pays the tariff. I thought that was really interesting, that correlated here. Also, let's check out here real quick. One of the biggest things I also thought about was when we look at the U.S. dollar. We've been talking about the dollar, how it's been selling off here. We saw a bit of a pullback over from the high here of hitting our first target here, pull back to our base where we were we got long down at this level here. We saw a pullback here from that 100 area back down to that 98, 97. Forgive me, I'm going to sneeze. There it is. It just went away. But you can see here that the US dollar has been kind of pulling back here, getting ready for the next leg up. So I expect to see us to put that next leg up as we start to continue here when it comes down to the Dixie. And then Apple projects tariffs costs will cost them for Apple $1.1 billion next quarter. So I thought that was really interesting that they can sit there and see the nuances there. And I think them talking about how they need to start building in America is going to really push hard on them. We'll see if they actually really kind of balk on this or if they're really going to follow through on it. So it's one of those things I'm really kind of looking to see what happens there. All right, that's about it there. And then let's pull up right here real quick. One last one. Fintech here. Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry about that, guys. Trading. Is this it? I have this all connected, so it's here it is. Yeah. Forgive me here. BlackRock, insurance against price drops, and BlackRock Bitcoin ETF is the costliest since April's crash, with 1 year puts trading at 4.4 volume premium. So it's trading above. So they're actually having to pay more money over calls, signaling surging demand for the downside protection for Bitcoin. So I thought that was really interesting that they're actually out there actually setting this up. This was today, so I thought it was like one of those things that's like, oh yeah, you need to pay attention to that, especially the fact that BlackRock is sitting there putting puts on. They're not long-term puts, but they're still putting puts in case they see it continue down to the lower levels. And this is where we'll go into this part right here. Tom will be here back in a few minutes, guys. But I just want to let me know if you guys have any questions.
I'm here, Pedro. I'm back on the road here, and with you. And I was looking into not exactly what you're looking at, but also a while ago the insurance. You know, they talk about insurance for price drops, and essentially it's just the option market. And if they load up on the options, the market's going to go the other way. It'll come take their liquidity, and boom, they'll all get smoked. Seems, as we all know, the price goes towards the liquidity in whichever market you're looking at, whether it's the option market or the spot market or the futures markets. But I find that interesting that it costs, it's going to cost you more to insure against the drop you're actually insuring against.
Yeah, but if they do see a major sell-off, they want to make sure that they're able to get. I mean, it came down to an area of support, which we talked about right here, right? We talked about that 1400 area with that 1600 liquidity pool. We came down, came into our area here, and then we're watching it push up. So, not that it's securing, but the fact is that it did hold here, and we're watching it push up. I feel like it's one of those moves that if the world sees, okay, BlackRock might be a little afraid because they're trying to protect their ETF stake, that's a good sign saying they're not going to bail out. They're not going to, they're not selling their position. They'd rather take outside ways to be able to create a put option so that they can actually make money in case if it does sell off, so they can buy more. Which, if I'm an institutional and I'm like, well, if BlackRock is, out there taking good hard money and they're willing to just want to risk, they don't want to sell off their Bitcoin. It's one of those things that you're like, this is kind of a win trade. Like, no matter what, if they let go those options and they go down, what are they going to do? They're going to let it sell off, buy in at a lower point with the money that they made off of the actual Bitcoin options trade, and then play it back up. So it was one of those things that I just thought was really interesting. Oh shoot, we got Kaching in the house. What's up? It's been a minute.
What's up, Kaching? Good to see you.
Good to have you, brother. All right, cool. It's good to have you. Hey, if you have any questions, just let us know. Hey, if you could do us a favor, man, hit the like button, share button, and click on that link. That always helps us out tremendously as we're moving here. Now, let's go ahead here real quick and pull up one more other thing I thought was really interesting. No, that's not it. Where is it at?
Thanks to everyone watching us on Rumble.
Yeah, and also the guys over on. We have record numbers over on YouTube, as you can see.
I dropped off there for a minute. Sorry about that. For everyone on Rumble, please like, share, repost, drop the link to the show in your trading group that you frequent. Bring some fellow degens into the house here and help us out with some views and some likes and some shares.
I think they're also doing some trading and a little bit of education, so kind of pulling. All right, so the other thing I'm kind of looking at here as well, so I got into a bit of a play this morning around here. I was kind of degenning, and so this one took on a narrative where it kind of pumped. His name is Jamal. Basically made a little bit of a cash as it pumped, kind of came back down, and I don't know if it's going to continue up, but I'm just letting you know like what I was playing this morning also as the market was going sideways for the traditional finance. So you can see here it was a nice little play. I know a lot of degen Discords were talking about it, and so it's one of those ones that I was like, well, if you got 4 or 5 degen company, or not companies, but degen communities talking
communities.
Yeah, communities. And I would expect to see it kind of pump, and it did a really good job. It's always amazing to see these guys able to do that. It's kind of weird, but I'm still kind of waiting to see. You can see volume picked back up here, kind of sold back off, so we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of like where I'm sitting, what I'm looking at. Here we go. The next one from over the weekend. Where is it at? Defi launch. There we are. That's one. FinTech world updates. Germany and Chancellor. Everybody's arriving over at the White House right now. Everything's posting. Actually, that's what's getting messed up. Boom.
Pedro, how are they all getting there? I'm always so interested in the logistics of moving around heads of state because I spent so many years in that. Are they flying them in on a helicopter from Andrews, or what are they doing?
Oh, also forgot to mention this. This is one of my headline, one of my tabs. They're all coming there, and looks like. They're coming in on just limos, man. That's really it. They're kind of all coming in on limos, so it's really interesting. Also forgot to mention this. So you have Home Depot sales coming out tomorrow, earnings, so that should move the market. Expect some volatility to step in. Oh, that just messed everything up. Oh, that's why. Forgive me. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and just do that now. Okay.
It's all right, Pedro. I was just reporting a cop in the middle of the road here on Google Maps. It's so good now, this reporting of the police, that he just pulled in and I reported him right away. And you almost could see brake lights from people getting the notifications that a police officer was running radar in the middle of the... I don't know how they get anyone anymore, knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. And let's talk about Target earnings on Wednesday. Be paying attention to that. That could cause the markets to kind of sell off. Walmart on Thursday. And so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I'm going to... Actually, I need to sit there and do this real quick. Give you guys key events this week. I'm going to post this stuff in the realm.
You know, I've been forgetting to do that too, Pedro, that
It's okay.
to post things that we talk about.
Oh, I forgot there's a limit to how much you can type. Give me 1 second. I'll post the rest here in just a second. Boom. Actually, I think that's it.
Yeah, they're everywhere out here today.
There we go. All right, guys. So I've got kind of all the major news kind of happening there. So make sure you're paying attention to that for this week ahead and kind of gauge what we're expecting to see. Tuesday, Monday, FOMC, Target. Yeah. So that's about it. And then the other one was President Finland Stubbs, President of France Macron, dozen European leaders to join Zelensky in Washington. Chinese exports are likely to accept lower prices. Yeah, we went over that. XRP Ledger enters the pharmaceutical supply chain. The integration will allow pharmaceuticals to settle wholesale transactions using XRP, ensuring faster, cheaper, and more transparency payments, which I thought was kind of cool, just simply because the idea that, you know, XRP is really trying to get people to at least like adopt CeFi crypto is one of those things I feel like I wouldn't have expected that, you know, I wasn't expecting them to try to push people into crypto per se, but more towards their blockchain. But they're actually trying to just push people in just to have their whole entire system just open for transparency for the blockchain. And I thought that was really cool. Also, shout out to all our people that are watching us now. We got up to 13, which is cool. Normally we're sitting around 20 to 30 people watching us, and they come and go. So thank you again for coming, guys. We appreciate every one of you. What's up, Fire Chicken? Good to have you all day, man. You rock, bro. All day. Good morning, all. Good day, all. Fire Chicken. Good to have you, brother. Again, if you guys do us a favor, hit that like, that share button. That always helps us out tremendously. As we start to move here.
Does that mean Kumgar has also made the show?
Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. Receive real-time updates. We got that. I think that's about it. I had like a bunch of this stuff. And my last minute, I had so many of them up that I actually had to shut them down, you know, because it was taking too much of my resources on my PC. So I had to go through and kind of shut it down and try to bring it back up. And it just, when I did that, for whatever reason, some of these aren't opening up. No, not that one. All right, whatever. Next one, I'm going to move up. I want to check out a little bit with the meme coins with Trump, and kind of like we can go over some of these meme coins I thought was really interesting. Real quick, where are the political meme coins? Here we are. So what I thought was really interesting here is that they're not selling off and they're not necessarily dropping, but you can see here that people are still buying and selling Melania. They're selling Trump and buying Trump, and we're finding it at this base here. You can see there at that $1.6 billion. It's just kind of chilling here. So kind of exciting to sit there and see potentially that this might be a low here, and that we might see it pick up again, especially if he goes through and causes a lot of the wars to kind of end. If Putin can actually come along and agree with him, it'll be really interesting to see him stop the Ukraine war. We're already watching kind of the whole entire Gaza situation kind of slow down, and things are kind of chilling there as well. So I just think it's cool to see here, kind of like we're seeing this bottom being put here, right? Higher high. I'll expect a higher low, and would come and hit that 2.4 billion and that 200-day period moving average. So part of me feels as if it is it's getting ready to potentially move up. So I've been kind of paying attention to Trump here, and I think it might be good publicity on his end. And again, remember the all-time highs were $15 billion, which I thought was really interesting. Pui's, which is another one, just the JD Vance one, it's kind of looking a little bit similar too as well. We're starting to put in a little low here, right? That little consolidation.
That one's still trading.
Yeah, dude. Very much. I mean, it literally has. What's the volume? There it is, right here. Give me a second. Boom. I mean, at 352,000. I'm talking to $20,000, $30,000 trading volume potentially. Where's the trading volume here? Volume, almost $400,000 a day. It looks like. So real interesting.
Wow, I'm quite surprised.
What's up?
And I said, I'm quite surprised that there's still that much trading volume going on.
Well, the interesting part is that I think these are going to be another gauge to see. You know how we have the Polyp poll, and you have a lot of these other polls that go through and check the government's or other people's like and dislike of the president. I think meme coins are going to be one of those ones that will really be kind of like how poly market, that people really bet. It's almost a better sign than polls. You know, when we take those polls, when people bet towards one side of a view or another side of a view, and those are becoming really accurate to a point where it's like, oh, that's kind of eerie. You know, it's a little eerie. So I just think it's another thing that when I look at, I'm like, this is potentially, you know, another avenue to look at the markets and see what's actually happening here, and just seeing the like or dislike of a political person. And the other thing I'm shocked about is, why haven't any other of Congress people launched a meme coin? I mean, I would have. Like, whether you're Democrat or Republican, like, I would have done it. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. If your president does it, why wouldn't you?
Maybe it's because they know that it would become a meme of itself. They'd probably have too many of them. And if it did poorly, you know, if Trump does poorly, he doesn't care. He's like, whatever, what are you talking about? Did poorly? Made $57 million, you know, or $1 billion or whatever, however much he made. But if a, you know, random representative from Oklahoma, you know, does it, and a bunch of kids in his district lose their lunch money, then, you know, then he's screwed.
I guess I could see that. I can definitely see that. Well, I'm just shocked that it wouldn't have. I would have done it. I mean, yeah, I can see the losing, but it's really the idea of like, you have a potential a windfall of cash coming in, and you can take advantage of that instead of trying to get the donors trying to win you over with silly bribes. I mean, care packages and stuff. Anyways, so yeah, that's it. That's what I want to bring up to as well. I'm gonna let you take over for just a second, and I will be back in a few minutes. Is that all right, my friend? Can you not do it? Oh, looks like he's gone. Okay, never mind. Tom is driving through the middle of God's country right now, and he's just super busy. So we will continue. I will continue to ramble on. What's up, Kumgar? It's good to have you. Heard I was being paged to Rumble. What's up, Kumgar? What's up? It's good to have you, man. Also, Dr. Fire Chicken, you rock, man. Appreciate everything you do. We're gonna check out Fire Chicken as well. Have a bit of some good news. I know they were doing a lot of stuff. Heard. What's up, brother? Also, guys, do us a quick favor. If you guys go in, you can make a little comment down in the comment section below the where all of our ads are at. If you go down below that, you can sit there and see that. And that does help us out if you do make some comments in that, because it does help the algorithm. But either way, we do appreciate every one of you guys for what you're doing with us. Next thing I want to bring up here real quick. If it does allow me to. No, that's not it. No. Where's it at? Sorry guys, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. And I want to pull that up here real quick. There it is. Not rolled out. The railroad protocols. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I thought it was really interesting, that link. Remember we were talking about real world assets and the ones that we're going through. I think what's interesting is the link. Here it is. What's up, bud?
Sorry about that. I went through a dead zone.
Oh, you're good. All right. Just there it is. All right, link. I was checking out Link. Link was showing a lot of promise here, even though it's not necessarily just screaming up here. But you can see here over the last couple days, we've seen it just go through this area here. We saw the seller push through. It came back down on the resistance, and then we're starting to see it push higher. Talked about Link down at these lower levels at $15, that I would expect to see it kind of see some resistance. But after these levels here, these have all been traded through. So these are not necessarily strong areas here. So the next real level is at $40 area on Link. So, and once it pushes through that, then it really is that all-time high area of that 52. So right now, sitting at that 25 area, we did talk about it going long on that 100. I said if it holds here at that $16 to $15 area, right off of the 100 and 200-day period moving average, I expected to see it go up, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. So there's a lot of real-world asset protocol here that they do, that they interact. So this is kind of like one of those things that I've been looking at potentially to really kind of see it get up and go here. Now, granted, we all did pick up some at 15 and we picked up some at 12, but the reality is I think we could see this thing, I mean, get up to potential $150 $100 to $150 high on Link. So I'm kind of excited about that to see it get up and go there. And so it's already started. We can see increase in volume even as it's increasing. There we go. Pardon me. Let me pull this back here. You can see as we're pushing up, right? We're going up and we're seeing volume go up as well. And so right here, the consolidation period is what we were talking about here, right? Boom. And then the decrease of volume coming in, and now it's just pushing up. So I'm kind of excited about this and just seeing how far it can go. I do think we could see a $100 to $150 chain link here as it's starting to find its grounding. And think about it, it was once at $5. So yeah, like you just never know. You think something might be a dead chain and it just goes. There we go. And the other one, Ching, are you making a run for the northern border, Tom?
Yes, I am. Matter of fact.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And then I want to bring up again, we're going to flip here to, not Ethereum. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Fire Chicken, where are you at, dude? We're going to switch up here. Means,
Ka-ching, thanks for joining us on Rumble. Really appreciate it. We're almost to our goal of 20 unique chatters a month. Need a couple of more to come by and get us over that 20 chatter mark.
Get some
Baby
chat.
Draco in the house. Draco, thanks for joining us. Jesus, really appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Wow, it's been a minute since we were actually talking about you a couple of days ago, my friend. We thought the great old car gods came and got you. So it's good to have you back, Draco. Pleasure. And what is it? Chew driving Tom. What is it like? Yeah, exactly. That's like a 3x to 5x. Yeah. For major coins, you know, that's a pretty big deal when it comes to movement here. So Fire Chicken, I've been kind of playing off of this 8-period moving average, and we can see. So if this thing is anything like the past movement in the market, that 8 has been a steady hold here. And so looking at it right now, we're seeing it hold that 100,000 mark on Fire Chicken here. So interesting to see you guys hold it, and you play to a T that daily 8. Look at it pop. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens if it's going to make that next leg up. We've seen you do typically about 30,000 pop. So every time it comes to that 8, it's about 30,000. Look right here, 30, right here from 30 to 50, 60 something, and then again from 60 or 50, 60 all the way up to 75. So it's been really one of those ones that's just like that exponential growth that we're watching. So it's really interesting to see what's happening here with Fire Chicken, but on fire. Yeah, right, Baby Draco. Absolutely, it's been no joke. They've been playing here. So, real cool. Let's go here as well. Actually, it is 2 o'clock. We might actually have to close this up for a second. Open up the Moonroof Tom. It's funny, Baby Draco saying, "Open up the Moonroof Tom." So what's up? You got fire, and you got King Ka-ching laughing at Tom, which is awesome. Here we go. All right, what's the next one here? Oh, this one right here. Interesting thing that would actually happen here recently was the United Health Group Incorporated. They went from basically 272 to 280, which was a huge spike. I don't know what the news was behind that, but I thought it was really interesting with United Health.
Pedro, I think they cycled through another CEO.
Did they?
And I don't mean in the way the other one got cycled through. I mean, they had an interim CEO, and I think he bailed, and then maybe the new one bailed too. There's some kind of news along those lines.
Yeah, but it jumped. I mean, the jump here was crazy. Literally went from 170, or excuse me, not was it, but 270, literally to like 313 today. It gapped up hard. And so watching this, I'm just wondering, going like, it's impressive. But is it really that bullish of a move? Where it literally does, almost a 30% drop, or what was it, 240? Yeah, almost 40% increase, 30% increase. It's crazy, absolutely crazy, and still holding strong. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep holding it past this.
I have to imagine there's a deep options market in the United Healthcare world.
Say that again.
I have to imagine the options market is very liquid in that United Healthcare.
Yeah, I would agree. I guess, well, that's about it. That's all I really had today. Kind of cycled through that real quick over the weekend. Here's for the comments. Nice. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you. You rock, man. Love it. I love it. These are the diehards for DYOR Media. Ching, Fire, Draco, Kungar. You got Connect Me, Crypto Unicorn. Those guys are diehards.
Don't forget the Ching.
That's what's up. All right, guys. Well, that's about it. We're going to have a short show today. Apologize about the shortness of it. Well, it's not short. It's just we started a little late just because our schedules weren't able to.
Started late.
Yeah,
I was in the middle of Pennsylvania when I thought I would be near Buffalo by that time, but
no worries, man.
Nope.
You don't even need an excuse. I'm traveling back
anyway,
to
but
northern.
Tomorrow I'll be back at the desk and have a proper show.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. Tomorrow's going to be. Go ahead, bud. You're breaking up.
I said we seem to have a long delay. I'll just let you take the show out here to the end.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for coming, and we appreciate every one of you guys, as always, coming in, supporting. Always thank you guys for hitting that like, that share button, and then re-clicking that link in a nice little incognito browser. That always helps things out tremendously. So, and that helps the algorithm, right? And all of a sudden, we're able to get new people. A lot of the new people, look, if you guys are watching us and you guys like what you guys see, I know today was a bit of a dead day. Normally me and Tom joke around and have a good time a little bit more than usual, but he's right now driving, and so I don't think it's good to like make cracking jokes and playing with him too much. So it's best just to let this man keep driving, paying attention. I don't want to see him get into a wreck. And I want to encourage you guys to come tomorrow, please. It is at 12 to 2 o'clock. We're going to be having a lot of stuff I want to be talking about. I think we're ready for a sell-off, and we talked about this last week. Even though we're creating new all-time highs, and it was pushing up like crazy, I think this is the last kind of almost part of that last hoorah for them. I think just selling it, I think they're just pushing up to sell off down at these lower levels here. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. We're going to talk about the jobs and what I think there or lack thereof of jobs that are going to be coming out. And then in addition to that, we're going to see how that all correlates with kind of the global market and how it pertains to crypto as we start to move forward. So it's going to be pretty fun tomorrow. I'm looking forward to bringing up a couple other things as well, up in news. I was going to bring up the news things, but I was like, nope, not that one. That was going to be tomorrow. So, but please come in, check out. If you guys have any questions, please come with questions as well. And the guys who are new to us, who are watching us over there on Rumble, do us a huge favor. Please come on in, hit the create a profile. It's simple, it is free, and then hit that little subscribe button, because we're trying to get up to 200 plus in our subscribers here on Rumble. It's one of those things that I really like Rumble, because we can talk about anything and we don't have to worry about getting censored or shadow banned in any way possible. We can talk about real things and not have to worry, like false numbers in relationship to the financial reports that come out by the government. Every time we would talk against policies against the CCP, or also let's say Europe or America and some of their policies.
Pedro, it's time to go.
What's up? Anyways, all that to say, thank you guys for coming in today. I appreciate every one of you, and we'll be back here same bat time, same bat channel, from 12 to 2 o'clock tomorrow, East Coast Standard Time or New York time. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye. You're breaking up. I can't hear you, bud.
We're flat for some reason.
And Lord God. Oh, I love these guys. These guys are crazy. We had this last minute, dude. I wish we held off on it. Born again, depression, empty of the soul. Bud, can you hear me on the system here?